most of us were thinking, oh, like, oh, this guy is so cool. Oh my gosh, he's giving advice, da da da. And everybody, no one thought anything different. Obviously, he was doing his bits on the side. Do you see what I mean? And not telling anyone, and he had never been caught before then, so he was just able to do what he was doing. This is the impression we're getting, or I am getting. I don't know if I'm wrong. So that's how it came about. You know, when you've been caught and now you have to say what you've done,
Mm,
basically.
mm.
Yeah, that's what I think it is for him, unfortunately. Oh, Chris, yes. Thanks, Amma. Chris, yeah?
So I do know of him because he's it's that snippet on Facebook where your friend sends you an empowering video about treating black women well,
Yeah.
that type of thing, and you're like, yes, yes, and then all the scandal came out, and you're like, really,
Yeah.
really, this is such a disgrace. Well, I suppose there's a couple of things. One is, I think he just got caught up in his own hype.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
In a few videos where he's talking about himself in the third sense, which is weird to me, where
Mm-hmm.
he's
Mm.
kind of dissociating himself from what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just have a comment about in that interview with his wife. And why didn't he let his wife look all cute?
Exactly.
And I do actually think that there must have been some reason for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would always like, if you know you're going to be seen in front of the world, you got to at least
Mm-hmm.
try.
Not put that bonnet on. Yes, as Mary said earlier, she doesn't understand the bonnet. And I don't get it either. Because
Put a pretty bonnet on. And I just
But
think,
the thing is, also, I was just going to say, was there a real need for his wife to be there? He's gone out and he's done the dirt.
mm-hmm.
He's been caught up with it. Come out and boldly and say to your followers, look, I've been preaching A, but actually I was doing B.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I need to apologize. Leave the damn woman alone.
Yeah.
It's humiliating enough for
Yeah.
this poor woman to actually find out that you've gone behind her back after all the vows that you've set to her at the altar. You've lived together for only God knows however many years. She's bore your children for you.
Yeah.
To drag her onto social media to do this video, I just really could not find a connection. I really didn't understand the whole stunt of it. Like, are we in unity because you've gone and cheated and you've been caught out? Like, I don't really.
But why are we in unity? When you were going to do your cheating, you didn't call me and say that you're going to do that.
Exactly.
So why am I going to sit there? I don't understand. Why am I sitting there? I don't get it.
why are you not apologetic to me in the video if I'm going to be while I'm just sat there while you're just talking about you and it's all about you, and it's just like, but you've humiliated me in front of the world. Oh, I found it quite irritating.
It was really disturbing in a sense where I totally agree with both of you. Why am I sitting there? I don't understand why she had to sit there with the way she looked. She's a cute woman. I said that before. She seems like a very pretty woman anyway. So you saying that let's do this because it must have been that we did this video in a haste because there's no excuse for why she was sat there like that. But then again, I'm not trying to bash her or anything like that. Maybe she's just a very simple woman naturally, you know.
He's being trolled now.
Yeah.
He's being trolled for that, which isn't fair. So
Yeah.
again, we will forget about what he's done and start watching his wife. She's the victim here.
Yeah.
But I have a really basic question. Again, pardon my naivety, but you've got such a good looking woman at home who, after all these children that she's bore for you, she is still kept herself. She looks amazing. Why would you even think of looking outside?
Oh, Amma, that one you've asked a question that I don't know if it's ever going to be answered because there are some men that are just like that. That's why I was saying to someone else that he probably needs counseling, he needs therapy, he needs some form of I don't know, and then he needs some form of help to maybe he's gone through something. He's gone through something in the past where he in his brain, I don't know, I'm not trying to find excuses for him as such, but why I don't know. Do men ever have a reason for doing what they're doing like that? I mean, do they ever know the reasons why they cheat. I don't know. Has anyone ever come out?
I think it's difficult, isn't it? I think I agree with you that he needs some type of help, just because he needs some type of help. But it's like you're risking your whole entire life and your livelihood to do this. Because if your livelihood is based on this, so there's something very narcissistic, very selfish about what you've done.
Close the door. No, close the door. Yeah, it's just shocking. Hold on, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I've got a little one in.
Yeah, but I think just like you said, it's one of them things that you probably have to be in it to actually know how to react to it, and without having that experience, and I don't think anyone should experience that anyway, it's kind of like really difficult for you to try and see reason. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Do you mean from her point of view or his point of view?
Both really, because A, you would want to know why has he done it, and B, you'd want to see if her reaction, how she's reacting, is it normal? Because I don't know. I can only imagine how devastating it would be for her to find all of this. So
it begs the question, though: is it true? Did he actually do it? Did he cheat, or is it just a stunt that they're trying to pull off? Because looking at the lady, it doesn't feel real to me. So yeah.
But why would you pull such a stunt, though?
To sell books.
Exactly.
That's a very silly stunt.
Very, but
everywhere, not in a good way, that this could actually kill his career.
Yeah.
Or maybe he said, like he said, it's a stunt and it's just backfired badly.
It's all very odd, but I think Risa made a good point, because I thought about that as well. What if it's a stunt and all of this is not true? However, then if it's not true, the way she is very believing, Bible believing Christian and all of that, then she must know that this will not be good for her spiritually, that she might not be able to come back in a sense where if she's being trolled, this will harm her mentally and spiritually. What you've put something out there that if it's not true in your relationship, what if it comes round and actually becomes true? So I get it, but for me, it's wow. Like, if you sit down and really want that to be a stunt to sell books, I don't. Okay, and then let me give you some backstory of their relationship from what I have gathered in the last couple of days or so. So they met when she was 19. So she has been with him for a very long time. I'm not quite sure how old she is currently. Obviously, they are married and they have 2 kids together. And I've also found out it might not be true. Please don't quote me on anything I'm saying. These are just things I've picked up on social media. So they might be completely false. So I don't want to tarnish her image or anything, or, anything to do with her character, because I don't know her like that. But apparently she was, she has a history of abuse that stems from her childhood or early adolescence. And I'm only saying this because I felt like we need to strip back to see what kind of person she is and what kind of person he is. Because in the interview, when it's a very long one, actually, they did a live, and then she says that she's forgiven him, but then all of last year, she wasn't with him, and the reasons why she came back to him beginning of this year was because she felt that he had changed. She felt that she felt he was a different person. The way he spoke was different. The way he behaved was different. Having said that, in other audios that had been going around from that alleged mistress, he saw her just last week. So from then that means that he has not changed, has he? Clearly. And so this is some of the background. And then also, apparently, before they got married, she said that if ever he cheated again, she would leave. So that means before they got married, she knew and he had cheated before, and she was fully aware of that. He's done it in the past. And I think she must have been praying that God will heal him, or I don't know, some. I can't even think far with that one. It's just, yeah, one of them ones. But yeah, anyone has any other things that they've maybe picked up or found out in the last couple of days, or if they've known him for a long time, what impression did they have of him? And do they think this is, like Rita said, is it a stunt? Is it something he's just doing so that he can sell his books, and all of that? I'm just still baffled by the whole thing.
The only thing I would say is, things that people will do for likes, for clicks, it's going above and beyond. So it could well be a stunt where people will do the most outrageous things just to see things. That seems to be a trend in social media, isn't it? So it could well be. It wouldn't surprise me. But if I take it on the face value that he actually did it, then I don't know. It just makes you question everything about him.
Because for him to give advice like 7 signs that your man is into you, I mean, come on. For you to be so convicted that yes, these are the ones, that, and for you to really say that. And I think people that actually cheat, be a man or woman, they're very good in communication. They're very good in thinking that you're always on their mind and things like that. So I think it's maybe habits he's picked up on of himself that he's given advice on for other people. So he does it outside of his marriage, not within his marriage. So that's what I think. Oh, anyone wants to say anything? You can happily unmute yourself, and just talk away. We're just basically having a conversation, a chit chat, because I think it shook the world a bit.
I'd like to just say something from what you said previously regarding a bit of a history about their relationship. And I know no one can judge anybody's relationship because no relationship is perfect. We all have our flaws, and we all have ways of dealing with things, and we all believe in different things when it comes to relationship. But there's one thing that you said about before they got married, he possibly may have cheated on her, and she thought he could change. I mean, that's something that I don't know. Why would you think you can change somebody?
Don't most women think that though? I think we're quite most of us are naive and think that men grow, or boys grow into men. So that whatever was then, they won't do again, or we can fix it with. Do you see? I think that a lot of women think that when they get into a relationship, they can fix a man, change him, or whatever, because they feel like they have the ultimate power, which I don't think we have. I think
I definitely agree.
Yeah, go on with that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think in regards to if it's a stunt or not, because he said in the video he hopes that he hasn't lost any followers, because I'm sure quite a lot of people would have potentially unfollowed him after all that. So I don't necessarily think it was a stunt, because then he's not doing him any good in terms of business. I reckon he just got caught. He obviously didn't mean to get caught, but he did. He's probably one of those men that just doesn't get enough. His woman's whatever is not enough for him. He wants more. He's probably lying next to her for years and years and years. And for him, it was probably just having sex from other women that just gave him a bit of pleasure. But no, what you said, or someone just said about women getting married thinking, oh, once he's got that ring on the finger, once we're committed, he's going to change. So many people think that all the time. And I think a lot within counselling, people will always say, you need to understand that you cannot change this man. He is who he is. If you see red flags at the beginning, that's a red flag. Take it serious. Don't think the minute we say I do, he's going to change, because that will not be the case. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was what she thought at the beginning, if there were some infidelities at the beginning of the relationship. So I think he's just one of those guys that just likes more than what he's got at home.
You know, one of those typical ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the red flags as well, it's just that I think women think that, oh, the red flags will turn into amber and then they'll become green, you know, where it's like, okay, they change colors. And I think a man is a man. If he doesn't want to change, he doesn't want to change.
Yep. Yep.
There's nothing anyone can do. Not his mother, not you as his wife, no one, you know. And that's some of the things that we need to get to understand and educate other women that are coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
The way you find him is the way he is. They sometimes mature and get better in communication or showing feelings or whatever. But it is what it is. And I think one of the things that I wanted to touch upon, and I don't know if anyone agrees with that, where possibly he preys on people that are vulnerable. And I think he's just found a niche in this market of Black women where he started empowering them, but really and truly he's abusing them by giving false information, by preaching something like this, but doing something completely different. And
probably to get into their pants.
Yes. And this is where, yeah. And I think, to be honest, that's just what it is, isn't it? Because the more you like someone, or you think, oh, this guy is a really good guy, you are more likely to say, he would never do anything bad, or he's so faithful, this is so attractive. Because some women actually really are attracted to men that seem to be faithful, if that makes sense. That are like family guys and all of that. So that's just one of the things that maybe he found very easy to get into women like that. It's just all very odd. Is there any other information anyone else has found out while, you know, maybe previously following him or seeing some of his advice? If they thought, I don't believe all of the advice was bad or was not relevant. I think some of them were relevant, and some of them could have been useful. It's just that now I think we will not take everything that anyone says online as a gospel truth or try and apply it to ourselves and our relationships. Because there was one thing I sent to you guys as well that said that some people would want a refund now because obviously they would have gone on his advice and broken up relationships that potentially could have been good relationships for them. So it's something else. Yes.
There's manipulation in there, isn't there? Because going on women who haven't had the best relationships, he set really high standards.
Yeah.
Which, if you're mature enough, you know that humans are humans. You know, nobody's perfect. But there will be some women who've listened to his advice and taken that as gospel truth.
Yeah.
And now they're feeling either very disillusioned with what he said and what they're looking for as a perfect mate, and I need this person to be perfect, just like Derrick.
Yeah.
Or there'll be, I don't know. I do think. I mean, like I said, I only ever got little snippets, and what he said, you'd be like, "Preach, go on, yes." Yeah. Really, do you know what I mean? But then it was for me. Then I'd forget about it the next few days. But some people, he's got a hardcore following, hasn't he? Definitely. And there is a certain amount of, I don't want to be judgmental because you can't walk in somebody's shoes.
Yeah.
And that would sound really judgmental because he's cheated and it's making me so conflicted. But you standing up there talking about that is how you've made your money, talking about exactly what it is that you've done. And when he talks about himself in the third person, I just find it really, really odd. Yeah. It's like, take responsibility. Don't talk about that person like there's someone else, because it's
someone else. Yeah. I did a bit of digging and research and when a person talks about themselves in a third person. And it's strange because the information I got from that is actually, it shows that the person is wise and is trying to deal with whatever is going on from the outside looking in. So he trying to talk about himself in the third person is maybe a way of him trying to unpick what he's done and then trying to see what other people are seeing. To me, I think it's what's the word? I don't want to use, and again, I'm not trying to judge him. I'm just trying to go off what the situation has brought up. And it's, as you said, it's weird. And I think one thing that I wasn't sure about, and the reasons why I kept bringing in God into that, where I thought was unfair, because then a way he's trying to guilt trip us in thinking that he has changed or he will change, and it's by only God's doing that he can, but he hasn't got free will to do it himself. Did anyone feel like that at all, or is that not something? I don't know. What do you guys think? Because obviously the wife later came out and said that she's fighting a spiritual war here and it's warfare, blah, and all that. So I think she really, and I do believe that some people are, as a Christian, some people are unable to do changes unless they pray about it and get delivered from it and things like that. But was he possessed? I don't know. What does anyone think? Oh, Chris, you haven't said anything today. You okay?
Do you know what? I forgot how long back in.
Wow.
I'm at least on my phone. I'm so sorry. People been saying, what's going on? What's going on?
Basically, we're just talking about the videos from yesterday and what you think. Because right now, I just made a point of that. Why is he... First of all, Chris said, why was he talking in the third person? It was a bit creepy. And then I just did a bit of research and found out that people that... Well, psychologists say that people that talk in the third person think they believe that they're wise, and they try and look at the situation from the outside in, and that's how they process things in their head. That's why they talk in the third person. And then also we touched on the wife, possibly why she didn't dress up or anything, but we still believe that she's beautiful the way she is, and she's a naturally good looking person. But why the bonnet, and why the hand holding so hard? And and then the side eye he would give her was really odd. So we're just trying to unpick, but we're not trying to judge, because at the end of the day, no relationship is perfect, and we all are in relationships that have issues here and there. But why did she have to sit with him when he was the one that was doing the cheating? Why did she have to come and sit down with him to confess? He was cheating there.
The first thing about the third person, it's not even that deep. The fact, listening to the video, he said, someone said, oh, I wonder if he'll do a video about this. And so he did. He literally said, that's why I did it. And he said, I'll be doing it in the third person, because all his videos are about, he talks about others. So if you look at all his videos, because I follow him, if you look at all his other videos, this is what he does. He critiques these relationships and stuff. So someone thought it'd be wise for him to do this. That's what happened. It weren't that deep. He literally said, someone said, would you do this? Would you do a video on this? And he was like, okay, then, trying to make it like he's got nothing to be ashamed about. But if you actually listen to it, there's a whole lot of BS, because he was like, yeah, the wife is right, the guy is broken and all that stuff, blah.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. You're talking about the video that he did watching himself.
Yes.
That, yeah. We are still on the first video, because I think the second video you're talking about, a lot of people haven't watched yet.
Got you, sorry. Because when you talk about the third person, I thought that was the video you're talking about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people haven't seen it, but then yes, I understand that, because then that one, he was given a reaction of his own video, which is weird.
So that's why when you said third person, that's why I thought you were talking about that.
Yeah.
In terms of the wife, I think people are putting too much on the wife and what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Far too much. That kind of deviates from the fact that this man who comes on Instagram tells women what to look in and for in a man, and how men to treat a woman, is done what he's done. and made money from it.
Yeah.
I made money.
Yeah.
I think why we put so much emphasis on the woman is because I don't think that's what we thought she would look like.
Possibly. Yeah.
I thought there'll be some, I don't know what, I thought there'll be some weave wearing, makeup plastered girl. That's what I thought. So I was surprised when I saw who it was. She's absolutely stunning. I think she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She doesn't look that.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, your volume is quite low, but go on again. Yeah. Chris, you just hang on. Chris wanted to add something.
I was going to say, but I think that's why it was like so manipulative to have her on. So it isn't so much about the wife, because we're going to look at the wife anyway, because obviously she's the victim in this.
Yeah.
She's the one who he has wronged ultimately. But then it's so distracting. It is so distracting. And it's not about how she looks, because like you said, she's a beautiful lady regardless. But I think it was just, I just find it kind of, was that part of your plan? Say that it distracts from what people do look at that's how people are.
So, but don't you think, I think from what I saw from her, because she was very defensive in the first place in the videos, I just think this is her and her, and she didn't, for me, I was just like, maybe she didn't care what she looked like.
Yeah. Which is fair. She doesn't have to.
She didn't care. And if you look on her Instagram, she is quite, I don't think what we saw was anything different than what she puts out. Yeah. Every now and again, she puts some makeup on, but you don't see the usual Instagram babe. You don't see that with her at all.
Yeah. And
I think what she wanted to put out was this: I am a child of God. I'm here with my husband because I'm a child of God. Amen. And all that, rather than looking at the looks. That's what I believe. That's what I saw. And it's this woman. Maybe he said, babe, are you sure you want to wear this? And she's like, yes.
Fair enough.
And he's like, babe, because he did side-eye her a lot.
Yep.
To say, calm down. She was like, I don't care. People can think what they want. I don't care.
Yeah. No, but he's still wrong for that though, because he came down, he was wearing his nice shirt, you could see his muscles in. And, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's true. So all those women whoever was in his DMs, they're still gonna slide in his DMs because let's face it, he was all fresh shirt, clean, and she's sitting there, he's all like holding her hand like she's some victim, like against my wife, and I'm grasping her hand. I don't know, it was all a bit. But like Chrissy said, maybe that's her. Yeah, this is me, and this is what you see is what you get. And this is me, and I've come and I'm doing a video of my husband. I don't care what anyone thinks of the story. So yeah, maybe it was that as well.
Yeah, I just feel like then that means from the get-go, from when they got married, they were never on the same page. Where she's a Christian woman and she believes in God and all of that. She's probably doing all the hard praying and that, and he's just sitting on camera giving advice that he doesn't even stick to himself. So then, therefore, I really pity her, because if she seemed so vulnerable and so stripped back, where I felt like he maybe had one over her, and that's what I didn't agree with. I felt like in the video she was almost screaming help, but because of her beliefs, which are completely fine, she is sticking with him because she doesn't believe in divorce, possibly. But even in the Bible, it says that if you catch your husband in the act, you can leave. Having said that, that's not the end and be all. Do you understand? Like that shouldn't, But I think if someone is not really, because I might be wrong, but I don't feel like this guy. I feel like next week another woman will creep up, because he said in the video that he's had many relationships. Yeah, with others.
Many. It wasn't just one.
Yeah.
He stepped out, he said. I stepped out in my marriage. I stepped out. And what gave me so much joke was that I think it was somewhere where he said, like, oh, I came to Christ, and from that day on, everything went wrong. And that's what, yeah, he was like, things just started crumbling. And that's why he did what he did, literally.
So then is when they got married and did their vows and that. He didn't know Christ then, like even as a
No,
child.
I think he's recent because there's another story. I followed this dude, and even more now. I'm just, there was another video where he's like, I believe, but I'm not like a Christian. That's what he said. That's what his quote was. So now he's, maybe because of his wife, he's come into Christ and all hallelujah now. But I don't think before he knew.
Okay. But then before that, do you, as a non-Christian, do you still not believe in not cheating then? Is that not what non-Christians do anyway? They try and stay committed to each other.
You can't even say just non-Christians.
Yeah, I'm just saying people that, let's say even atheists, they must believe in commitment to one person. Unless you are in an open relationship, right? But I didn't believe they were. So unless he thought they were in an open relationship, but she didn't know. It's a whole like.
I mean, but what we're getting is just like Crystal says, like little snippets here and then. We really have no idea what goes on in it behind the scenes, in their home, in their relationship. He's come and put this out because of what he's about or what he's been perceived to be about. So now he's trying to, it's like damage control, isn't it?
Yeah.
I make my money from this to that. I need to let the people know that this is what I'm doing because obviously it came out. And as Abigail was saying, probably if it hadn't come out, he never would have done this video. He'd still be sitting there in his car talking about all this BS that he's talking, that I'm sure lots of these North American women, black women, lap up, because there are lots of people like my friend who's she's lives in Toronto, and she was like, yeah, no, I listen to him because it's good to like hear a man's perspective on how they act and stuff. So yeah, he's got his target audience, and he knows that he needs to apologize to that audience. That's all it is.
He was coming to London, I think it was last year, and I was actually considering going to, I think he was going to have an event here. I don't think it actually happened.
What kind of event would it have been though? Is it more motivational?
A relationship, relationship motivational thingy thing. Yeah, and I think he was one of the speakers, and then there would have been others. And this is what burns me. Like, what? You can't come on preaching how he preached, criticizing how he criticized, and then do this. If he came humbly and it's like I'm flawed, there'll be a different, like, we would just be like, all right. But he is so self-righteous. That's the issue. There's all these, and this is the question I ask and I pose. How have men saturated this industry of giving advice?
Yeah.
And women, we all me, I'm sorry, I'm one of those. Lap it up. There's another one that's I follow, Stefan something. We lap it up.
Do you know what it is? And I think it comes down to the fact that a lot of women please don't take it the wrong way, because I don't fully believe in what I'm about to say. But possibly what happens is, if another woman gave you the same advice that Derrick gave you, would you have taken it? Would you have followed her the same way the females are following the man?
I do not follow one female.
Good. And that's probably because if another woman told you the same thing, that you wouldn't believe it, possibly. You would probably think that doesn't exist, or she's got it and that's the one man she's got and that's that. And I think that's just how it is. That's why I think sometimes there's a saying that we are worst enemies, where we could be giving you good advice, but because it's from another woman, you won't take it. Could that be it? I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe. Possibly.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of that. It sounds better to you because from another man. And the same way that Mary's friend said that, and it's nice to hear it from a man's perspective. That's why it's easier for women to digest what he's saying than if a woman said it to you.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we are all about healing and love and that. But if we come to you and hardcore tell you that, sis, if this guy doesn't do this and that and that and that, he's not into you, you'll be like, oh, what do you know? You know? I don't know. I feel like that's how it might be interpreted or whatnot. I have no idea, but this guy has really thrown me off. But then it just shows, as Abigail said that, you know, everyone has to do your own thing. Do you understand? Gather your own experiences, make your own minds of what you want to believe in and what you want to do.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say, I do wonder why, in general, men and women listen to other people for advice on their relationships. Like, even pastors, how many pastors that counsel marriages are hitting their wives every other week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so quick to listen to other people about how to treat our men, how to treat our wives. Why don't we just ask them? Like, if there's something that I don't like that my husband's doing, I'll say, look, let's fix this. I have a problem. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is this not working? Just sit down and talk. Get the advice from the person that's bothering you rather than seeking it from someone else. And I think that even my friends, a lot of my friends do follow or, you know, listen to advice, or they'll like ask me for certain advice and I'll give them advice, but I'll be like, look, this is what I'm saying. This works for me. It may not work for you. Your husband's very different to my husband. I'm different to you. We have different personalities. So sit him down, talk to him. I think that's what breaks relationships. We don't communicate with each other. We communicate with others. And I think that's one thing that I'd probably say is that we just need to talk to our partners about what works in the relationship, what doesn't work, rather than asking someone else who's not even in the relationship.
Yeah, I like that. Chris, you've unmuted. Did you want to say something?
No. I was preparing myself for when I would jump in.
Brilliant. Do you know what? I totally agree with you, Abigail, on that. But I also have found that if I have a question about something, there's one or two people that I know I can go to because they're in similar situations as I am, in the sense of the dynamic.
Yeah.
I can go to someone that has a similar dynamic to what I've got. I will ask the question that not necessarily I need the final answer for.
Yeah, just some thoughts, what they think.
Yes, but sometimes, you know, when you're in it, you can't see from the outside. But when someone's outside, they can see what's in it.
Very true.
So, I you know, some people are very hot-tempered. But then when they're asking the advice, like, chill out, okay? Sleep on it. Then I would suggest maybe you sit down and talk and then see what can be happening. Communication, I find, is key in everything.
Yeah.
May it be through screaming or shouting, texting, emailing. Communication on all levels is super important, I think. So that's why I think in relationships, someone asked the question of, should you involve parents in your relationships? Maybe in friendships, marriages, boyfriend and girlfriend, or whatever. Should you involve parents in those things? That's actually
I say no. That's a hot no. Not my mama.
I was about to say, not my parents.
Nah.
Not.
Do you know what? It's not because I don't want her advice. That's not the reason. Her advice, I'm sure, would be great. It's I don't want her to know what the problem that I'm having with my husband, for her to look at him different.
Yeah,
you know. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's not the advice that she'll give me that I have an issue with. That's no problem. If I could, I would say it's my friend's problem, and I want to see what she would say about it. But I don't ever want her to know that, you know, my husband comes home from work and he just sits down. What advice could you give me? I don't want her to know that my husband does that.
Yeah.
That was just an example, by the way. So that's the reason why I wouldn't involve my parents. Yeah.
I think there are many examples we could give where, let's say, obviously within if it's like an abuse situation where you have to have someone that help you plan your escape due to, for whatever reason. I think anyone you can involve, parents, friends that you can involve, do that. Um, it's tricky. You see, yes, I've been with my husband for a long time, and all of that. I don't think, not even once have I gone to my mum and said, "Oh, by the way, this and that." There's certain things that jokingly maybe I put in here and there, and then she might. I personally think, I've said this before. I think my mum loves my husband more than she loves me. That's a whole nother story because, whenever, if I say something jokingly, she'd be like, "Oh, leave him, he works really hard, duh, duh, duh. You need to relax, leave him be." So that's quite sweet, and I think it's a sweet spot to be in, where that's it, you just leave it like that for the rest of our lives. So when it comes to experts, is anyone ever an expert in relationships though? Has any one of you met anyone that you look at and be like, "Wow, they are experts," or he or she's an expert? Anyone? That's, I guess, a resounding no. So it's tricky, and I agree. That's one of the questions that we had where, yeah, Chrissy, go on.
No, I said no expert, no one.
Nope. But when you come out, don't you think though that within a relationship, when you have like your female friends or friends, you get together and you talk about general talk, we're not talking about going too deep into each and everyone's relationships, that you find that there's similarities, that everyone is going through same things at just different stages, that where then you can actually then give advice in a sense of, "Oh gosh, what you're talking about I've experienced before, but this and that is how I handled it. See if maybe it will work for you. If it doesn't, obviously, I don't know." Is that something that you find helps, where you can have open relationships with your female friends, or like couple friends or something? Question goes out to everyone.
I'm trying to think of an answer to that, because I don't think similarities, but I believe I surround myself with wise people. So sometimes it's just more bouncing thoughts and what I'm doing more than him, or if what I'm doing is okay. Have you been in that position? If they have, great. If they haven't, what do you think I should do, kind of thing. And it's just then for me to consider those recommendations, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Those are sometimes helpful, and also sometimes just silly conversations about things that happened in the past or whatever can really help one out. And I think we've had good experiences. And picking your friends, I think, helps a lot. Picking your friends helps a lot in the things and the way you think about things, the way you would, certain decisions you would take and stuff like that. So that's super helpful. What notes did I make? I made the third person note, which was obviously from where he gave his own reaction on his own video. Who does that though? I understand that someone said that wouldn't it not be funny if, but why would you do that, Chrissy? Why? Is it
Because it's part of his brand. This is all marketing, branding, I think. And he, instead of thinking about it carefully, he just said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah, and that's why I think when we think back, what Rita was saying, that it might be a stunt, because I mean, why would you then agree to that when possibly your wife, as we heard earlier from Chris, that she's being trolled online? So why would you now go on and give another almost feedback on what you said already? I don't understand that.
But then if he didn't, there'll be other people saying, "Look, you completely I think that's what people would have done. I think he wouldn't have been able to win either way, I think.
Yeah, probably. But to do a reaction video of your own video where you're telling the whole world you have been, and do you know what I didn't like as well? The way he said it, the words he used of how he stepped out. And the things he said things, please correct me if I'm wrong. He said in a way where he said, I stepped out, and let me be clear, I had sexual relations with other women, multiple times. Why would you have to say that? Can you not just say I was unfaithful and finish? Like, why do you have to tell us that you've this isn't that? I think if you could, you would go into details of everything, and that's what made me feel bad for her. That yes, she knows about it, but why have to relive it again?
But you know what? I was watching a documentary on Bill Clinton,
Oh.
random, Monica Lewinsky, and that whole I had relations and then not being specific. So maybe you're trying to be just as clear as possible.
Right. Yeah.
You know, other than that, relations, or what was that? What was the Jada Pinkett thing that the entanglement? You know, where you're just like, what are you saying? Just say it straight.
Oh, those are the good old times where, you know, it was just beating around the bush. I mean, you know, do you know what? Going back again, men do it time and time again where they have to publicly apologize, which sometimes I feel like, okay, is it really necessary to do that? Yes and no, depending on what kind of person you are. I felt very bad for Clinton because I almost felt like, because I was very young then though. Now, as I'm older, I realized that did he really think he was? I don't know. He did obviously do it, and he thought it was wrong, but I didn't think he thought he was going to get caught, and that was his issue. And with this Derrick guy, I feel like he almost been doing it to get caught. I don't know if that's even a good enough excuse for him of what he's. It's not an excuse for anything anyway. But he is just. I hope he's healing. Yeah, that's all. I hope he's healing, and he's gonna try and heal from it all because and the wife, I hope gets some form of closure as well and healing, and that 2021 will be a better year for both of them in their relationship, because it must be hard to, especially now with social media, with pictures going around. What if more women come up and say that they did this, to have done that, or what if he's paid some people off? You know, but then if he comes out, like Chrissy said, if he comes to the UK, let's say this year, people will go and sit and watch him because they would want to see him in flesh and see what he's going to say now. Because not everybody's anticipating what he's going to say now and what he's going to say next.
Yeah. Can I ask, what is this healing for him for? I don't understand. Oh no, I know that, but I don't understand. Lord Jesus, I don't understand.
I don't know. When I say healing, I feel like he maybe in the past have been hurt or
Why is there always an excuse?
Okay.
Why is there an excuse? So there's two things going on. So there's a portion of people who are like, okay, he may be hurt, that's why he came out. He went out, he was going everywhere. But the fact the other parties saying that, do you know what? Men just cheat. Now, I don't know where people think there's a healing for this guy. He just went and did what he felt he could do and get away with.
But if we look into the psychology of it all, deep down, there's an issue. Because
he said, we were going through a rocky patch. As I said, he went to God, he came to Christ, everything was crumbling. That was why. The man is not an ugly man. The man knows he can get what he can get. He's now got a platform. As someone said, people sliding in his DMs. There's no psychology behind that. Men will do what they want to do because they can. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know the healing.
Well, maybe we'll find out later that he's maybe talking to Dr. Phil or something about his childhood experiences. I have no idea, but he needs to see someone. He needs to see someone. Rita, you unmuted earlier on. Did you want to say something as well? Contribute towards our trying to find Derrick some healing.
Well, I think he's just done what he's done, and there's no explanation for it, really. He's just being a man. If he actually did it, then yeah, it is what it is. And I don't think, like you said, we should listen to people's advice. In a way, we should, but we shouldn't base our relationship on other people's relationship. That's and right. Think that, that person is so rosy, because we all don't know what everyone is going through. Yes, I think. Exactly. Yeah, we should all be happy and content with what we have, really.
You see, then it beckons. That means Mrs. Jaxn, Derrick's wife, should be happy with what she's got and just deal with it, right?
No. So when I say be happy with what we have, I think we all know what is good for us and what isn't good for us. So if you are in a relationship and you think it's not good for you, like this guy's cheated how many times and you're still sitting there. I mean, everyone is different. Some would, some wouldn't.
Yeah.
So when I say be happy with what you have, it's what you can tolerate, really. Yeah.
I think everyone would appreciate that I would have to sometimes take different sides in order to just stir up the conversation and see what other aspects and other corners of it we can look at. So don't take everything I say too seriously, please. I beg. Because when I go to sleep, I sleep namada. Oh dear. Girls, anyone else want to contribute towards this? Has anyone found any other angles, or do you guys think any more females will come out of the woodworks to say that maybe they had something, they have dealings with him or whatever, or it's just that one person, alleged person, that's come out, and I don't even know, maybe I haven't done my research well, but I don't think there's a name for her. I have no idea. There is a page on Instagram though dedicated to Derrick Jaxn fan page or something with all of the notes, voice notes that were done of the girl that he's talking about.
Wow, people have time.
Apparently there's been 2 women so far. Antoinette was saying, oh, never knew. I just thought it was that one woman. Yeah, Chrissy, people have time. So if it's just the 2, but then I think we have to bear in mind that the wife said that all of last year they weren't together. She wasn't living with him. So
but he was still married, so that's besides the point.
True.
Separated, you're still married. It doesn't matter really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. That's what. I still believe that she did say she filed for divorce though last year.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if the divorce papers went through, if he signed it or not or whatnot. But she did say in one of the videos where she was by herself and she was wearing that famous bonnet again. Where she was by herself, and she said that she had filed for divorce actually. But then again, there's so many information coming from left, right, and center where sometimes you're like, oh my god, I'm sure she will be able to do some healing.
You and your healing.
I really honestly do not know what else.
There is no healing here.
Honestly, that's all I'm thinking about. That, like, surely that's all they're trying to do now to heal, right? Because such a bomb where your parents know, or your family know, your aunties and uncles will probably by now all know. Oh, come on.
But they knew ages ago. They all knew. The only reason I'm sure they did. The only reason why this could have been under the carpet if that woman hadn't come out. They would have dealt with it by themselves, and he would be still preaching his preach. But it just happens that this one woman didn't want to be quiet.
True.
They had no choice but to come out.
That is true. Wow.
And I don't think he's going to change. Really, I know it's bad to say that, but I don't think he's going to change if he's done it multiple times and wife is still there. I mean, why should I stop? I'll always be forgiven.
Because it seems as though he's been doing it since they were together when she was 19. Before they got married, she said that if he did cheat again, she would leave. And he did, but she returned, you see? So it's something that maybe he has been doing, and possibly, as Chrissy and Rita now don't want me to say it,
healing.
It's healing.
We'll all pray for him. We'll pray for him.
I think maybe she's been with him so long, she has no confidence in anyone else. And so she's now stuck with this man.
Wow. That is... It's stuck. I don't know if it's stuck, but I think she's just very convinced that obviously God will... I don't know, he has found God now, and he will not turn back to his ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. As Rita said, there's no changing. But who knows? We shouldn't judge, eh?
That's right, yeah. So we're just, saying that, like, within relationships, we know the persons or peoples to go to if we have to, but not necessarily really we should try and, resolve things between one another. And I don't think the wife should have been in the live confession of himself. Didn't see the point. Don't get it. Looks like a hostage situation to me, where her hand was squeezed far too much, and the side eyes were too much by him. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think his followers wanted to see how she was. Apparently, they wanted to hear she was okay and see her, because most people hadn't seen her before.
So could she not have done a video separately, like just on her own, the first video, rather than them doing it together, looking like that, and then she was on her own? Because I think she's a strong woman, and I think
but then don't forget that book she wrote, Healed Together or something. So I think they're trying to show the public that they're healing together. In a way, promoting their book as well.
Yeah.
I just think there's multiple layers. There's so much there.
I agree. Multiple layers that I think we are definitely not equipped to unpeel. But I guess we're just giving our opinion on how we saw things and how we got to know him. And some of the advice is actually quite good, and it makes sense. So yeah, it's Oh, she's left already. Amma was here. She has been, today was her first sister joining, so I was gonna say hi, but she's gone. She had to close work. So yeah, she was listening to us from work. Guys, shall we call it a day? If no one talks, I'm sitting here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Wendy, Chris, Rita, Mary, Abigail, and Chrissy and Antoinette for joining me this evening to talk about just relationships in general. Relationship guru Derrick what's his last name again? Derrick Jaxn. That's him. So we're just trying to give our 2 cents, but obviously we're not trying to judge anything. Everyone has their own relationships and how they deal with things and the way they resolve conflict. We are just here to give light-hearted information and thoughts on the information, on the situation at hand. So thank you guys for joining so much. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. And God willing, fingers crossed, we'll be back next Thursday with another live on YouTube and another sister to sister. Anyone can join in, invite people, let them know we're here, share. I'm on obviously YouTube and we're on Instagram as well. And this doesn't work without you guys. So thank you so much for joining me.